Good morning, everyone. Thanks once again for watching my video. Today, we're going to discuss a very important topic that is your mindset on the day of the exam. So, you've done all the prep work, you have studied everything, you're ready to do your exam on the day. You walk into the examination center, you go, you do your basic pre-test scans, your palm scanning, things like that. Your examiner goes and says, that's the place where you're going to sit for the next 3 hours to do your CISSP exam. And that's what we are going to talk today is the mindset that you will be taking with you into that exam for that 3 hours. What differentiates a person who has studied for more than a year, read Cybex's book 4 to 5 times, did about 2,000 or 3,000 questions, done all that over a span of a year and still failed the exam, where there are some who have done studies for about 2 to 3 months, goes and passes the exam. What is their mindset on that particular day, or even precisely those 3 hours? That is what we are going to discuss now. It's got nothing to do technical. It's nothing to do with how many exams you have written. It's your mindset that gives you that edge to pass on that particular day. This is what we're going to discuss today. Even before we, even if before I give those 7 main steps on how to tackle your mindset, let me talk to you something about what my meditation guru Dandapani says. Dandapani talks about a concept of time. He says time is broken into 3 key elements: past, present, future. He says you really can't worry about anything that's in the past because it's already happened. There's nothing you can do about it. Keep moving forward. You really can't worry about something in the future because, as per his words, it says worrying about the future is not at all useful because worry is an element going into the future, creating something that hasn't happened yet, bringing that something into the present and start worrying about it. What is the point about worrying about something that hasn't even happened? So, really, worrying about the future doesn't help. All what you have is your present. That question that you have in front of you is all that you really need to take care about. So read the questions properly and answer it accordingly is the only option, or let me say, the only best option you have at any given point of time. So I just want to talk to you about the concept of time before I go to those 7 key steps. Now, this video, please don't get me wrong, it's nothing technical. You have great gurus for technical like Prab Nair, Vance Vu, Mike Chappell, Luke, Ahmed, Prashant Mohan, all those gurus there who will help you technically get it right. This is all about that 3 hours you sit, how does your mindset work and what you need to do to fix your mindset. That's all what this video says about, which is very, very important. I've bought these 7 steps here based on about speaking to about 20 to 25 people over the last 3 days since my last video about their experience of some people studying, as I said, for more than a year and still not passing or still yet to pass, and some people who have studied for 2 to 3 months and passed. So, what are the experiences they had and the common things that each one of them faced, and what we can do to improve it using these 7 techniques. Okay, so the first main thing you do when you come into an exam room and start your exam is to fully expect you will see questions that you don't know, and that is okay. In my example, I had about 40 questions out of the 100 questions where I didn't know or even didn't have a clue what it is. CISSP trains you both to understand things mentally and technically. So CISSP has a very good way of breaking down straightforward questions in such a way that it makes us doubt our answers. They do it purposely, and that is okay. So the moment you sit there in your exam and you start seeing questions that you don't know, don't freeze. It is okay. There are multiple people who have passed and I've spoken to. Their experiences all say the same. It's okay, just keep moving on. Think about the concept of time that I've discussed. Once you click on to the next question, don't worry about the past because it can't control it. Sorry, you can't control it. Okay, so that's the first step. Second, inadequate rest the day before. This is a very common thing. Every one of us experiences some sort of stress and anxiety leading to the exam. You have done 5 months, 1 year worth of training, and everything is coming down to that D day. Some people can't sleep. Some of the ones I've spoken to said they couldn't sleep whole night, had to get up at 6 a.m. and start reading again to then go into the exam at 11 a.m. The problem with that is your mind is already tired. The moment you see those tricky questions that I mentioned in step one, your mind is blank because it's not fresh. You don't see certain keywords and indicators that makes you tick on the right answer. You suddenly don't see those. Your mind is tired. Everything is a blurb. This is one of the major showstoppers that quite a few of the people experienced, and it all comes down to inadequate rest. So, how do you circumvent those kind of situations? Is treat your practice exams that you take prior to your original exam like a real exam. What do I mean? The first practice exam I did a month before my real exam, I didn't even study the day before. Yes, in my mind, I had all these inner feelings talking to me. No, you've only got 1 month to study. Please do it. Please fight. You've got this one to remember. You've got this one to study. And I say, it's okay. I'm not studying today. I am fighting the demons within me. I've done it the first exam. The second exam, I do the same thing. Those demons talk to me much lesser. I do it for 5 times. The demons talk to me less and less with every additional practice test I do. So coming exam day, yes, those demons try talking to me, and the demons talk to me to a certain extent, but I was able to control it because I've got experience based on my previous 5 exams. That is why especially Luke Ahmed and Vance and Mike says, treat all your practice exams like a real exam. What would you do in your real exam? You do the same thing in a practice exam. If your real exam is at 11 a.m., you take your practice exam at 11 a.m. Why? If once you start at 11, it gives you your mind starts getting fatigued maybe at 12, it trains your mind. Or if you do it early morning, you take your practice exams early morning because your mind then suddenly starts treating your practice exams are being treated like a real exams, and your mind starts treating your real exam like a practice exam, which is important. So that's the second step. Inadequate rest the day before. Third important thing, don't stress if you can't complete 50 questions in an hour. So as you guys know, it's a 3-hour exam. People say roughly 50 questions per hour, 72 seconds per question. People who have brain freezes or brain fogs, as they say, okay, my first hour was horrible. I was able to only answer 35 to 40 questions. And then I look at the time and it's much lesser than the 50 questions that you are supposed to finish every hour, and my brain froze. I was just trying to finish things, and it try to finish things, look at the time, and looking at the time makes me even more anxious, and because of that I was not able to answer properly. So golden rule, expect that even if you answer 35 to 40 questions in the first hour, it's okay. There are people who have done that. All what you need to do is once you have completed or those 50, 35, or 40 questions, or once it's an hour, get up, take a deep breath, sit down, count how many questions you have over what is the remaining hours, divide and start working on it. Don't worry about things that's happened in the past because that's not going to help you. So I hope I'm bringing the concept of time into each of these sections just to make sure or reinforce in your mind the importance of concept of time to understand what is past, present, and future. So don't stress your first 30 to 50 questions, even if you take a bit more of time, it's okay because as per CISSP, the first 20 to 30 questions sets the pace of how quickly you will pass your exam. So you do your first 20 to 30 questions with taking a bit more time, and if you do it okay, the chance of you passing are a lot more higher as opposed to then trying to get the last 30 questions correct. So that's why it's okay. Next, something which is very important is the process of taking breaks in between the exam. There are a lot of people who say, "Oh, I've managed to complete the exam or managed to pass the exam in 20 minutes or in 30 minutes," or this. I've had people who normally say in an hour. It doesn't matter whether you pass in an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. You're not going to get a present. You just need to pass. That's all what you need to do. So don't try to beat time or try to be the quickest person in CISSP to pass the exam. It really doesn't matter. You just need to pass. So you need to be very conscious, and you need to make it important to take periodic breaks. Why? Because periodic breaks will re-energize your mind, get the blood flowing, and the next set of questions you answer after your first period break or second period break, you answer it a lot more efficiently. So the golden rule with Luke Ahmed and Prashant and people like that, they say normally take it after 50 questions or normally take it after an hour. I say take it before you hit the brick wall. So once you see a question, every answer looks the same and you start feeling fatigued, stop. It can be a 30th question, it can be the 50th question. Get up, go, have a bit of a walk, grab a bit of water. Just don't think about it. You want to have a very casual 1 second chat with the examiner. That's okay. That's what I did, just to have a different topic. Go, take a deep breath, sit down. Concept of time, think about it again. I can't worry about future. I can't worry about past. Okay, I can only worry about the question in front of me. Concept of time, that break will give you that recharge that you much required. Start with your questions after that. I found out, and also all the 15 to 20 people I spoke to as well, both via LinkedIn and via phone calls, have also mentioned taking breaks actually really help them. So we really encourage you to take breaks. The next important thing is, I personally feel the boson exam format. It's good to take practice exams, especially the boson, not because of the questions. You're not going to get the same questions in boson in the exam, but what you're going to do is get you will get accustomed to the format, the boson format, the layout, and also the timer. The timer starts from 180 and 180 minutes down, not from 1 to 180. So getting used to those kind of small things by doing the practice exam of the boson, actually I started already feeling comfortable even before the first question. So doing a boson exam or getting accustomed to the format is really good before you start your exam. Uh, the next important thing is process of elimination. CISSP says for a question they've got 4 answers, 2 of them you can easily eliminate. They say they expect us people to get confused with 2 of those questions or 2 of those answers to the question, and that's okay. So the moment you use the process of elimination to knock out 2, and you've only got 2 questions or 2 answers remaining to think, you have already got 50% chance of getting the answer straight. So your main focus is, the moment I've got a brain freeze, eliminate 2 questions, because that's what CISSP says. And CISSP itself tells us they expect 2 of them to be tricky. So that's okay. You find 2 that you can't decide, that's okay. Your process of elimination, your fresh mind process of elimination, and all what you have studied and learned from the gurus will help at that point of time. Uh, and the final thing that I would like to tell you guys, which is the most important factor, you have already won the exam even before writing the exam. You are already a winner. The stats say that there is less than 80%, 80% people who actually write the exam from the day they start studying the exam. So what I'm saying is, people start the exam, less than 80, they say more close to 50% actually writes the exam after they have started the exam. So you are better than those 50% people by even attempting to write the exam. There's another stat that says there are only 20% of IT comrades who are actually eligible to write the exam, they actually go ahead to even attempt to study and write this exam. So you're 80% better than those people who have even attempted to start looking into this exam. So keep your head held high. Never allow anyone to discredit you, even whether you pass or clear, whether you pass or fail the exam, because you are already a winner. By writing this exam, you have already proven that you're better than quite a lot of people out there. So have your head held high at all times by saying you've attempted to write the CISSP exam. The biggest benefit of CISP, like how I said, is the way you conduct yourself after you have learned concepts. So I'll give an example. I was with a client the other day. The client wanted to know if my company had additional features like SOC facilities and how do we take incident management and things like that. What are the process we follow? Before I would go straight into what incident management is, but now I go into a more holistic approach as to why you need it, how we provide it, what does incident management even try to fix before I start discussing the nitty gritty of incident management. This whole concept of providing a wholesome solution as opposed to just directly at the topic is what CIOs, CFOs, CISOs, they want to hear is what benefit can I get if I go with a product with you guys? And that's what CISSP actually allows me to address. I now speak their lingo, and that's the biggest benefit. I hope this helps, guys. So just to reiterate very quickly, um, when you go into the again concept of time, past, present, future. You enter into the hall fully expecting that you will see questions you don't know. Inadequate rest the day before, how important it is to take breaks, or sorry, to rest the day before. You don't stress if you can't complete 50 questions an hour. You need to have or inculcate the process of taking frequent breaks during the exam. You need to have, as per me, boson exam format to understand how the format is, how the exam format is. Next is the process of elimination, how you need to tackle or remove two of those questions straight away, and the other two, you've already got 50% chance of getting the right answer. And by even attempting to write the CSP, you are already a winner. All right, guys, I hope this helps. Thank you very much once again. Stay safe.